There are so many great ideas out there, but how do you turn a good concept into a viable company? Well, joining me in today's Consultants Corner are Tina Hedges and Beth Catalano, co-presidents of the firm new.brand.venture. You may recognize them, though, from working alongside stylist Jonathan Anton on the Bravo show Blowout. Thanks so much for coming on this show, you guys.
Thank you,
Thank
JJ.
you for having us.
All right, well, you take things from concept to company. So what's the first thing you need to do?
The first thing you need to do is protect your idea. And what does that mean? There's all sorts of assets that you have. You have your product idea, your brand name, you have your logo, your design. All of that needs to be locked up, because before you start presenting that to people, retailers or investors or designers, you don't want them to steal it. So
get a lawyer?
Well, you can do a lot on your own. You can go, as Rod mentioned previously, to the USPTO.com, which does patents but also does trademarks. And you can do your own search. You can find out, does that name exist already in the marketplace? Can you put in your own application? And there's firms like daylawfirm.com that if you put in your own application and your challenge on that trademark, they will...
Is this a long process?
Well, I even want to step back further, because I think there's the first step, and the first step is really a confidentiality agreement. You have an idea, and you come to Twist New Brand Venture, and you say, Tina, Beth Ann, I have the greatest thing since whatever. We have to have a relationship between each other. So there is a piece of paper, and there's a legal document called a non-disclosure agreement. And really, we think that's the first step, and we won't listen to ideas without non-disclosure agreements, because it protects both parties. So it can be a mutual NDA, or it can be a one-way NDA. You really need to look at the fine print.
Okay, once you've got that down, then you say create your brand. What do you mean by that?
Well, create your brand means, well, you have to design a logo, you have to design all your corporate collateral. What does that mean? Your stationery, your business cards. How is that brand going to look? Is it a product? Let's say you're designing a lipstick. Well, is the lipstick going to be packaged in a carton? What is the whole thing going to look like, and how is it going to live in the retailer environment?
And really, and that really is knowing who the customer is, and really doing some research on the demographics of who your target audience is going to be. What motivates these people to buy a product that you're going to bring to them? That's really good information for you to really know very, very well.
And I imagine you have to make sure you're consistent with that brand.
With everything.
Messaging.
Yes.
You're preaching what we sing all the time.
All the time.
Be consistent in your messaging. What is your messaging? Well, number one, you're your own billboard for your company. So whatever your product idea is, make sure that you live and breathe that idea. I mean, don't invent a car that doesn't use gasoline, but then drive a car that has gasoline.
And you know what's really, really important that a lot of people forget, and then they spend a lot of money down the road trying to really correct. If you see your brand living on the shelf of a store, then make sure it fits the shelf. Make sure that it lives in the home of that environment well. So actually start with the end in mind. See your brand at the place that it's going to be distributed, and work backwards from there.
Fits. Yeah. Okay, the last thing we talk about here is don't just think it in your mind, create it, and send it out there, get some feedback.
Ooh, yeah.
You know what? Proof of concept is always important, and investors look for proof of concept. They want to understand, well, you have this great idea, but does someone want to buy it? What are they going to think about it? And companies, you know, spend tons of money on market research. It can cost a lot of money, but you can do grassroots research. Invite your friends out for dinner or lunch. Show them your concept. Have them try it. Send them.
Does that work, though? Because might you not get a group of friends who say, it's great, and then as soon as you leave the room...
Everybody has an opinion. And normally your friends and your family, it's best that your family...
They can be the most critical,
Absolutely. And I think also there's other ways to do it. You know, asking retailers what they think of the product concept is really key. And most retail partners are looking for the newest, hottest brand. So most will entertain a new brand that potentially can live on their shelf first. So that's really, you know, a very good way to look at whether it's going to be a saleable product and it's actually going to be bought down the road.
Can't you get into a cycle, though, where you're getting feedback, you're tweaking, you're getting feedback, you're tweaking?
You always have to, absolutely.
Yes.
And you ultimately, the brand rests with you. You are the visionary. And market research, I always say, people can only tell you what they already know. They can't tell you something they've never experienced before. Some of the greatest inventions of the world tested poorly in market research. So you have to go with your instinct.
Go with your gut also. Okay, Tina Hedges, Beth Catalano, thank you so much for coming on the
Thank
program.
you, JJ.